Sigma males are among the most intelligent and capable men in existence. They think deeply, act independently, and don't wait for anyone's approval to take action. But there is one area where even the most brilliant Sigma may struggle: money. Not due to laziness or lack of talent, but because their way of living, thinking, and working doesn't always align with how the world financially rewards people. Most are taught that if they work hard, act smart, and do their job well, success will follow. But Sigmas know it's not that simple. They don't fit into the conventional system. They question everything, reject the usual rules, and while this strengthens them in many ways, it also puts them at a disadvantage in a money-obsessed world. The reality is that Sigmas often remain poor not due to lack of ability, but because they're playing a different game. They prioritize freedom over stability, truth over popularity, meaning over profit. And while these choices are admirable, they can lead to long periods of financial hardship. This video isn't meant to blame them for their money problems, but to understand the deeper reasons behind them. Because by understanding why these brilliant minds stagnate financially, we can also find solutions without betraying their essence. So let's analyze the honest reasons why so many Sigmas struggle with money, starting with the first and perhaps most important: their rejection of the traditional career paths most follow to succeed. Reason number one: contempt for conventional career paths. Sigmas don't want to climb the corporate ladder. They want to build their own. From a young age, they feel the pressure to choose a predefined path: study, get a degree, find a job, climb the hierarchy, and retire one day. But this plan feels artificial and forced to them, so they reject it, and that's where their financial troubles begin. While their peers progress in structured jobs and build resumes, Sigmas explore what truly matters to them. They dedicate themselves to creative pursuits, freelance work, or temporary jobs to preserve their freedom, which brings them peace but rarely stable income. To society, they seem behind. Their friends buy houses, get promotions, and build savings, while the Sigma keeps searching, jumping from job to job, testing ideas and questioning the system, not because they're uninterested in success, but because they want it on their own terms. Though highly capable, they refuse to play the game most careers require. They avoid office politics, can't stand answering to those who don't understand them, and won't trade their time for money if it sacrifices their purpose. This mindset is courageous, but it also makes the journey harder. Many Sigmas end up in low-paying fields early on: writing, design, coaching, small businesses, or self-taught tech, building alone and facing tough years before finding success. Worse, they reject lucrative opportunities if the structures feel oppressive, quit stable jobs because they feel trapped, and avoid climbing ladders that would lead to lives they don't want. While emotionally understandable, this comes at a financial cost. Some eventually find balance, building something profitable without sacrificing freedom, but many struggle for years, jumping from project to project without accumulating real wealth. It's not a lack of talent. It's a mismatch between their essence and how the money world operates. And unless they learn to bridge that gap, they remain stuck, brilliant but broke. Reason number two: aversion to networking. The world runs on connections, but Sigmas don't play that game. They don't fake friendships, attend events just to hand out business cards, hate small talk, and avoid closed circles. While this preserves their energy, It also excludes them from a pillar of financial success, relationships. In most industries, who you know matters as much as, if not more than, what you know. People hire those they like, do business with those they trust, and promote those who make them comfortable. But Sigmas don't engage in this. They want to be respected for their work and integrity, not their social skills. This attitude limits their growth. They may be more talented than their peers, but while others build visible networks, the Sigma works in the shadows, hoping their work speaks for itself. Sometimes it works, but often the more extroverted win. They avoid group settings, reject corporate mixes and team-building events, and while this protects their peace, it also isolates them from key people for their growth. They may even burn bridges unintentionally. When a client or colleague seeks more contact, the Sigma distances themselves, not out of rudeness, but because they believe the work should suffice. Yet in many fields, personal rapport matters more. Over time, this shrinks their opportunities. They're not invited to key meetings, don't get referrals, or are overlooked for major projects because they're off the radar. To them, it's frustrating. They know they're talented, but the world isn't built for lone wolves. It's built for tribes and circles of influence, and Sigmas, by nature, prefer to stay alone. This choice preserves their integrity, but also keeps their income low. Some learn to network in their own way, finding authentic methods to connect without selling out. But many remain stuck, brilliant but poor, never balancing solitude and strategy. Reason number 3, underestimating self-promotion. Sigmas focus on substance, not style. They care about execution, not talking about it. They believe results should speak for themselves. But in today's world, staying silent has a cost. If no one sees what you do, no one can value, support, or pay for it. This is where many Sigmas stagnate. They may excel in their field, but struggle to share or showcase it. They see self-promotion as egotistical or fake and prefer to stay low-key, which, while humble, makes them invisible. In traditional jobs, this means missed promotions. Their superiors don't notice their behind-the-scenes efforts, and since they don't claim credit, others reap the rewards. In entrepreneurship, it's worse. If they're creators or freelancers, their biggest weakness is visibility. They may have brilliant products or content, but without marketing, no one discovers them. They assume quality will attract results, and while that sometimes works, slowly, in competitive markets, attention is currency, and those who don't claim it fall behind. Worse, they avoid taking credit. They're uncomfortable saying, "I did this," or "this was my idea," so others claim their achievements. This behavior stems from pride, not ego, a belief that real work needs no applause. But in practice, it hurts their finances because the world promotes what it sees. And if you don't show up, you disappear. Sigmas who overcome this learn to self-promote without betraying themselves. They share their process, discuss wins honestly, without arrogance, and gradually earn authentic attention. But many never take this step. They stay in the shadows, and their talent, though real, never translates into real money. Reason number 4, prioritizing passion over profit. Sigmas don't pursue jobs just for the paycheck. They seek purpose, meaning, and alignment with their values. If work feels empty, they abandon it, even if it pays well. If a business doesn't excite them, they shut it down, even if it's profitable. This focus on passion is admirable, but it also explains their financial struggles. They choose meaning over money, writing books instead of taking stable marketing jobs, launching podcasts instead of climbing the corporate ladder, dedicating themselves to coaching or teaching, noble but often underpaid early on. This mindset brings happiness, but delays income. They may spend years building something meaningful, which is valuable long-term but leaves them poor short-term. Worse, they resist pivoting to safer careers even in crises, because to them, doing something they hate for money is like dying slowly. They'd rather be poor and authentic than rich and miserable. This creates tension. Debts pile up, pressure mounts. Yet the Sigma holds their ground, confident their path will pay off someday. Sometimes it does, but often money comes too late or never. Balancing passion and profitability is key, but Sigmas often delay this adjustment. Reason number 5, resistance to authority and structure. Sigmas don't take orders easily. They despise being managed, corrected, or controlled, valuing freedom above all. This makes them great leaders or solopreneurs, but also excludes them from high-paying roles in structured environments. In traditional companies, promotions go to those who follow rules and please superiors. But Sigmas question policies, challenge decisions, and work best autonomously, earning labels like difficult or uncooperative. They may be smarter than their bosses or more creative than peers, but by rejecting the system, they don't advance, get sidelined, or quit in frustration. This also affects client relationships. If a client micromanages, the Sigma resists or drops the project, protecting their vision but limiting income. To them, structure is a prison, but in many fields, structure equals profitability. Until they learn to adapt without surrendering, they'll keep hitting the same wall. Reason number 6, preference for solitude. Sigmas are naturally solitary. They find peace, creativity, and focus in isolation, but this also limits financial success, because in the real world, growth often comes from teamwork. Partners, investors, mentors, collaborators. Sigmas, however, distrust relying on others. They trust themselves first and build in isolation, leading to fewer alliances, fewer growth opportunities, and less visibility. They may be brilliant writers who never hire editors or entrepreneurs who refuse outside help, capping their reach. Plus, their reclusiveness makes it hard for others to discover or collaborate with them. While less talented but better connected competitors advance, Sigmas lag behind. Some accept this trade-off. They'd rather move slowly alone than fast with people they don't respect. But others eventually learn that solitude, though powerful, isn't always profitable. Learning to collaborate without losing their essence is key. But for many, this lesson comes too late. Being brilliant isn't always enough. Sigmas have the mind, skills, and determination, but their way of navigating the world keeps them from accumulating wealth, not due to inability, but because they aren't built for the conventional system. They avoid fake networking, reject superficial success, and chase meaning over money, making them authentic, but their path harder. Yet they don't have to stay poor. They don't need to sell out to succeed. Just learn to navigate the system without betraying themselves. This means showing up, speaking clearly, and building smartly, not just working hard. It's not about changing who they are, but leveraging their essence so the world can see, support, and reward it. The Sigma mind is a treasure, but if unshared, it remains potential, and potential doesn't pay the bills.